It's Radio Skid Row 88.9 and you're on the air with Good Smoke. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Remember that number 9550-9552, and remember, check out radioskidrow.org and goodsmoke.com.au. Now, this is the second half of the interview, and this one is a very, very dear to my heart. He's a hero to me. Whether he likes it or not, he is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Anthony from No Garlic, No Onions. What's up, man?
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming in, man. Honestly, you're an inspiration to me, and you're one of the pieces that made me start doing this stuff here and inspired me to, go out and do something about it. So I really thank you for coming in.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
I'm very nervous, man, so bear with me.
Okay, so who's interviewing you?
I'm interviewing you today, man. I'm interviewing you today. Well, I just want to say, you're a gentleman. Not only that you do food blogs, that's the basis of it, whatever, blah blah blah. But you're deeper than that for me, because you take us to see the local people. You take us to see the local talent that's out there, and even more so, you want to advocate for like helping local businesses, helping local farmers. Let's go back to why you started No Garlic, No Onions, and what inspired you to get to this point today.
Probably several things, and let me start with the simplest one, because in my humble opinion, Lebanon is أحلى بلد بالعالم, so the most beautiful country on earth. So accordingly, I want to spread the word, inform everyone on earth what is Lebanon, who is Lebanon, and Lebanon is much more than what the news tells you, and the news only tells you the negative things. Lebanon is a 6,000 years old country, is one of the oldest in the world, where food is something phenomenal, where businesses, definitions, the boats, the international discovery, I don't know, probably definitions discovered Australia, nobody knew.
No, they do. They said they have evidence in Queensland, but let's not go into that too far.
So Lebanon is my heart, my mom, my motherland, my deep proud. Amen. And since no one's promoting it, since the government is not promoting it, I wanted to do that. And this is number one. Number two is definitely we have awards for musicians, we have awards for singers, we have awards for creative directors, for advertising. But do we have awards for heroes? And who are the heroes? Heroes are old people doing what they're doing for the last 100 years. Heroes who are fixing your car. Heroes who are doing you manouche, breakfast, hummus, and so on. And I wanted to go back traveling around Lebanon, and it moved to outside the borders of Lebanon, searching for the Lebanese heroes around the world, and this is why I'm here.
Thank you.
To give them that opportunity to just say who they are, to thank them, to put them on camera, and for them to express how hard worker they are. And sometimes people think, okay, he left his country and he's whatever, he's now famous. He worked hard to become.
Yeah.
And please do not judge. He left for a certain reason. So supporting Lebanese who still protect their lands in Lebanon, and supporting Lebanese around the world who have left and still feel that shaking hard when they think about their country.
Yeah.
I'm talking too much. This is it.
No. We want you to talk. I talk as much as you want, because for me, when you're talking on camera, you're getting into the details of things. For me, what I love the most is the restoring of the cedars, how you represent to restore our country's flag and what we represent. Also the apples, the beautiful crunchy apples from the north. Come on, man. And how we're not supporting our local farmers. How is the Australians outside can help Lebanon? Is it that we go back and grow our own thing? Should we all start going back? Because there's 19 million of us out here. How can we support us from the outside in?
Can I tell you things the simplest way possible? Just do not forget your heritage. Do not forget your roots. Do not forget your country. And this is how you're helping. You're helping when you don't say, I don't want to speak Arabic anymore. You're helping when you're not forgetting your roots and thinking that whatever country you are part of today is your new life and your new world. You cannot forget your mom. You cannot forget your dad.
Roots,
you cannot forget your blood. So why would you forget your country? So accordingly, when we all agree, us 18 million plus Lebanese around the world, that we won't forget our roots and our heritage and we love our country, this is where we start helping. And then millions of ideas pop up. Would we send money? Would we come back to Lebanon and plant? Would we export from Lebanon to any country? And the ideas are endless. I'm not coming here to talk about economics.
Yeah.
But remembering who you are, what you do, where you started is enough. And we can go places. We can change the world. Lobbying around the world to put Lebanon on the international map, of the top 50 restaurants, on the international map of the innovators of the world, on the international map of the success stories of all the countries. And it's been 9 days already. I'm so blessed to have been loved that much in Melbourne and now in Sydney. The hundreds, thousands of messages I'm receiving every day for people that want to see me, talk to me. Thank you so very much every single minute of the way. And I was impressed by the Lebanese community, which I called Little China, Little Lebanon, excuse me, Little Lebanon. And that Little Lebanon is are people that love Lebanon. I don't know, probably 100 years back, someone came, no internet, no social media, no newspaper, and created his own community of how he would love to live in Lebanon. And people who came here, since it's a 19 hours flight, and back then probably way more, blended in. And what I discovered the last 9 days is love, support, amazing food, phenomenal food, 99.99% close to Lebanon.
Wow.
Whenever the ingredients are available.
Fresh,
people who fight for speaking Arabic, and some of them are born here and speak Arabic the old traditional village way. The attention, the support, the way they live, I'm blessed and overwhelmed. This is the first time I leave that much home. This is the first time I leave 9 days without feeling the need of coming back. I will be coming back. This is my country. I'm never leaving. I never thought at a single second that I want to emigrate or come here. That's not the point. Please understand me well. But I don't want to leave because I still feel that my mission is not done yet. And I want to show the world the success stories of Lebanese, and it starts in Melbourne, can continue to LA and probably in Montreal and wherever. 18 million plus again. Some people say 20, some people say 16, that have succeeded, that have worked hard, that have went up the ladder step by step, and today, call it a mission, call it I don't know why I'm doing it, honestly. I want to go search for them to express and say and inform the world how hard they worked and still are Lebanese.
Man, why your inspiration? Because in this country, with having a Middle Eastern background, it is hard to progress if you're not doing something for yourself, you know what I mean? So to be accepted is hard, but for you, you're breaking the barriers. Like if it's from ignorance or just pure, like you don't care, just walk forward, you're doing a great job. Because showing the Lebanese community, they show the bad news here in Australia, the bad that we do here. But when you come here, what's the one thing that you noticed that inspired you about the Lebanese here? What's the one thing that
love, happiness, smiles, jokes.
Do they feel like they've changed? Do you feel like they've gone away from their heritage, or they're still here?
Not at all.
Beautiful.
They're still the same. Probably the second generation speaks less Arabic.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, you said it.
Sorry. I know the swear words.
But everybody still eats the same, prays the same, thinks the same, acts the same. I've been here for the last 8 hours or so. I've read more Arabic than English on the streets. I've had an amazing shawarma. I enjoyed a great Philadelphia, the way we eat it in Beirut, the street food sandwich. The Lebanese sweets in Australia are out of this world. I never imagined eating Lebanese sweets to the flavor of Tripoli in Beirut, in Lebanon. How the hell did you do it? So accordingly, I've been around. I've been in 44 countries.
Yeah, 100%. Dubai, everywhere, yeah.
And in 44 countries, I was always sad to see how the Middle Eastern cuisine is represented. And usually it's something that doesn't have much flavor because the sandwich has everything in. It's too fulfilling. It lacks a little bit of class and finesse. It's not too clean. I would be sorry to say it this way, but when I arrived here, I felt same things, same ingredients, same vibes of Lebanon, same shapes of sweets, and taking it to the next level of cuisine. I've had an amazing hummus, exceptional Lebanese with a twist and a little bit gourmet approach, which we don't have in Lebanon yet. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling the positive vibes of Australia, which you live here. I don't know if you feel it every day, but going out of the hotel, it's like, That's
yeah.
a new day, and I'm
Yeah.
just loving it.
Beautiful. And you started off as a dentist originally, right?
Yes.
And I know, and are you still into dentistry? Yeah.
I stopped for 2 years
Okay.
to focus on what I do,
Yeah.
and that is touring around and discovering more and filming more. I was filming like 5 episodes a week,
Yeah.
flooding the internet
Yeah.
with good content. And now I'm continuing to do what I do,
Yeah.
but I felt like I want to continue being a dentist, so I'm back to choosing my patience and
yeah.
enjoying it.
The beauty of it is that because you're not a person that's brought up with social media and stuff, but you've managed to grab social media and not use it as something as a deterrent, but rather into your favor. And having that, like, you know, the generation now is just flooded with social media all the time. How do you deal with like the comments and the even if there's hate coming from people? How do you keep moving forward into doing your hobbies are and what you love?
Life is like an interview of 5 hours, and I would love to discuss it. Life is all about maturity. Life is the biggest book you can read. Life is all about feeling every single moment and not forgetting that you only live 80 years and never reach a certain point when you look back and you say, "Ya reit," or "I wish," or
right, yeah.
"I'm sorry I didn't do it." Experiencing life, enjoying life, meeting people, going to people, giving love, being generous, giving and giving and giving, and God would give back. Building things that would need time. I've been building what I do for the last 7 years, and I've been saying that for the last 3 days. I believe today, with the quantity of love I'm getting back from people, is like I'm being paid for the amount of hard work I've done for the last 7 years. Understanding that you cannot go on doing hit and run deals. Success is nothing about money, and so on and so forth of things. So accordingly, life for me is such a beauty, where I've been a photographer, I've been in the nightlife business, I've been in the food business, I've been a dentist, I've been a food blogger, a YouTuber, and wherever the road takes me, I go, and with one big aim is spread smiles, spread happiness, share joy, and love to be loved back in return. And this is life. It's such an amazing thing. With maturity, you evolve with time. And you start accepting comments. You hardly accept harsh attacks. And I don't want harsh people to be watching what I do. I rarely block people, but whenever someone just spreads negativity and attacks, I'm not a psychologist, so I would block him and let him go find his solutions. But whenever someone gives a comment, this is constructive. You cannot be loved by everyone. Jesus was never loved by anyone. And you will learn from negative comments, because negative people look at you from a different perspective. When you want to run something, don't get someone that is a super duper fan of the brand. Get someone that looks at it from and the outside and gets you the devil's advocate questions.
Constructive.
So social media is maturity. Social media is time. Social media is the future. You cannot not be part of it, because this is the future, and life is so fast, and you have to grab that train very, very fast. And you have to understand that some people ask, why don't we have negative comments? Why don't we read negative comments? Why you always say I like food, so why not sometimes bite something and say I didn't like it? This is maturity of social media. Since when I go to a place, that place would sell probably 100 times more. Imagine me saying I didn't like it. That place might close or not. So to be mature and constructive and not close businesses, because I would never do that,
right,
is I won't show you the negative things. Because what do you care?
What are you going to do?
What do you care about them?
That's someone's livelihood or something like that.
My videos are about choosing the good things to eat, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So why would I write something negative?
Yeah, that's right.
Let the news tell you negative things if you enjoy it. Watch my videos if you want to draw a smile on your face.
Before you started this, what did you expect? Like, what were you expecting from people and how they react to you? Like, even the older generation having a camera in front of their face and knowing our traditions and how they are, they're very reserved and they like to keep their own life and they're private. How did the people react to you? What did you expect before going to those villages with, Karam, like, and I think she's related to my mother's side as well. But how did you, break that barrier? Because once they get past that barrier, they seem to open up and they want to show you, and they sing for you, they give you a teba, they give you a drum bucket, whatever it may be. What did you expect before going into these villages?
When I started social media in 2012, when I took a camera and went into a restaurant to take pictures of a menu, I was kicked out because restaurants would think about it as if am I stealing the menu. In 2016, 4 years after, and that was very fast, automatically restaurant would ask you, why aren't you taking pictures? Because marketing 4 years after is us. In every business you do, I believe you need to build trust, and it's all about trust. People will hear you if they trust you. People would follow me if they trust me. It took me some time to build trust, and still on credibility, trust, love, a genuine smile, respect, and keep your ground on the floor, your feet on the floor. So accordingly, people today would welcome me like if I'm their son, because I built trust with them, because they know that I'm genuine, because they know that I would come and love them and hug them and kiss them. And I never came as a TV presenter. I never came as a YouTuber. I came as Anthony, who loves the elder people. And this took me some time. Again, if you are a business owner, the only thing you need to focus on is trust. When there is no trust, there is no success.
And that love and all that comes out in the food as well, like when they're presented. I would just want to ask, maybe it's a biased question, besides Zahle and Mshari, what's your most favorite place in Lebanon?
I love Baalbek. The people of Baalbek are amazing. Generosity in Baalbek is beyond imaginable. Kibbeh in Zgharta is exceptional. Street food in Trablus is beyond. Life inside the old souks and the old little gems is amazing. I won't say there is one particular place in Lebanon that is different or that I love more than other, because Lebanon, let me say it this way, we had 20 years of war. Probably the one single positive thing that happened during these 20 years of war is because roads were closed, so every village developed alone. So today we have more than 1,500 villages in Lebanon, in that small country that is exactly as Melbourne, 10,000 square kilometers. Okay. With 4 million people, exactly as Melbourne. In that small country, I believe 1,500 villages developed alone. So you would eat 100 different flavors of kibbeh, 100 different flavors of knefe, a million different flavors of manouche, and every village has something to say. Every village has a different way of building a house. Every village have a different way of drinking or not, welcoming or not, coffee, tea, or mette. So Lebanon, I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again and again and again for the upcoming years, is not a touristic country. Lebanon is not a touristic country. Lebanon is an experience for the 5 senses, beyond being a touristic country. Lebanon is where you tremble, where you shiver, where you smell different odors, where vegetables are different, have different flavors, where your eyes are saturated with colors, where the weather is beyond any normal weather, where for the 4 seasons are respected 3 months at a time. And I can go on and on and on. Would anyone talk about his country the same? Probably you should. Everyone should.
Everyone should.
But I have a special connection with my motherland, and I believe it's the best on earth.
That's what we had with Mira just before. She was talking about Egypt, because she was born here too, and then she going there, smelling, feeling, touching, eating is this completely different experience. You know what I mean? And even with me, I was born here. I've been there in 2005, and when I went there, my mother always told me it's beautiful, but it's nothing when you get there and you're actually in the snow or eating the manouche or hugging the older generation. And the next question I want to ask is, like, why is it important to preserve our heritage, and why is it important to show love to our elders in Lebanon, especially? Like, it seems like the new generation is traveling everywhere else and they're leaving the old generation behind. How can we revive that and keep it like the blood flowing through Lebanon?
My philosophy of life in Lebanon and outside Lebanon, always remember that your life is a passage. You're just passing by. You're passing by for 80 years when life has been here for millions of years and will continue for billions of years. So you have to remember every single day that during these 80 years, you have to respect the land, protect the land, protect your elder, respect your elder, because the day you're going to go out, you're leaving something for your kids. So when I see people not respecting the land, throwing away things from the window, or not recycling or so on, remember this land is not your own. You do not own it. You're just passing by. Accordingly, the development of the world the last 10 years is equal to the development of the world the last 300 years. And it was so fast and so growing so fast that the world has changed in a way that is good, probably, definitely, but we cannot forget the old things. We moved from natural food grown in Lebanon. We never had something called organic. It's that everything.
It's always been organic. Yeah.
It's always been organic. To focus on making it organic. Eating something natural from the village to buying it from the supermarket in the capital. Eating a manouche that is not traditional anymore because it's made in a factory that produces 3,000 manouche per day, when the real flavor is handmade without gloves in the village. So I wanted to preserve that history, preserve that country, preserve this heritage of 100 years with people that do not have social media and cannot and do not know how to market themselves. And I want every single person that has kids to remember that technology is nice, development is nice, traveling is very interesting. When you know your country, you've traveled enough in your country, toured enough your country, know how to answer all the questions about your country, and then you take your kids and say, okay, we're going to travel around the world. Ask yourself, when you take your kids to Turkey or your kids to wherever, do they know enough about their culture? And there are lots of things. Every single question has 10 minutes of answers of connecting the dots to what I do and trying to preserve more than 6,000 years of history, probably Lebanon and Egypt and all the Middle Eastern countries where life didn't start 100 years back. We're talking thousands and thousands of years back, not forgetting that and not going into the social media era and technology era and development era. Again, that is nice and we're all part of it without forgetting our roots.
Well, one question is, how do we revive the train in Lebanon? The train system. I want to bring the train system back because it's one of the things I feel like the country can mix and get to know each other, and the biases and the religious prejudices will get broken down when we have traveling around the whole thing. How can we bring that back?
It will one day.
Really?
It will. Everything will. Staying positive will. Lobbying for positivity will. You have two ways of seeing everything in life. Or you sit back and nag, and life won't stop for you, or continue and do something about it. So I filmed 2 episodes about trains, trying to lobby about it. People in Lebanon are trying to lobby about it. 2 books were created to lobby about it. We have
from your video.
Books were made up before my videos. We have corrupted politicians, yes, but those people will die one day. And the others will come afterward, and this will happen again. It will happen again. Everything will happen again. It's sometimes things are put on pause. The country has been put on pause because others were sucking its blood for the last 20 years or so. But this doesn't mean the country is not positive and people are still living and you can visit and we're not at war and you are welcome and you will be super welcomed whenever you are traveling around Lebanon. So in my opinion, probably I won't be able to do the trains, but my kids will. So keeping it positive, believing in it, always talking about it, lobbying for it, will make it happen.
Let's talk about Souk al-Ekel. The market of food or market of eating, in English, if that's a good translation.
Street food market.
Tell us, how did you start the market? What was the point of the market, and how did it start off?
Usually when you go to a festival, it's the festival, so the singing, the main item that happens, and then food if you like. And I wanted to turn that and saying, since food is the culture, let's do a food festival. And then if someone wants to sing, fine, why not? So let food be the main, let food be the culture. So accordingly, and I wanted to integrate into Lebanon, to introduce to Lebanon several ideas of food which weren't available back then. I don't have a restaurant to do so. So why not create a street food market? This is 2. 3, I wanted to revive downtown Beirut. Downtown Beirut became like a ghost city, ghost town, and I wanted to revive it. So 4, why not give the chance for university students to work, have a small job without doing having the expenses or the investment into opening a restaurant. So putting all together, Souk al-Ekel was created. So introduced more than 70 kinds of new food from around the world.
Mouth-watering foods, like my mouth on the screen is like, wow.
Yeah, the picture talked for
the cheese, the meats, the sausages, the burgers, like unbelievable.
So I took advantage of all my experiences and all my travels, and took every time I traveled, it was one new experience. So why not have a street food, a sushi burrito? New York started it. Why not have egg waffles? Japan started it. Why not do, and so on and so forth. Introduce the bao buns to Lebanon. and lots of other things. So accordingly, Souk al-Akl was created. More than 250 people worked in that souk. We've done probably more than 80 events all around the villages of Lebanon after starting in Beirut. And Souk al-Akl made it on the cover of the International Atlas of Street Food, which was published in the United States. It was the first street food market in the area in the Middle East, and then expanded to Dubai, copied it, and everybody copied it. It's not a copy, I would believe. This was the trend, but we had the chance to start it in that small country called Lebanon. And I learned a lot from it. And people loved it, and I believe it took Lebanon's cuisine to another
level. Yeah, for sure. Listen, Anthony, I wish I could stay longer. I wish I could keep you longer. We've had 26 minutes with you. I'll leave 4 minutes. So
I've took 26 minutes without eating anything. Oh my God.
I've got some chocolate here for you so you can get your sugar up. But listen, you want to ask a question? Yeah, for sure. Go.
Very quick. I mean, this is more than I've learned about Lebanon in my entire life. So I'm so privileged to be sitting here right now. I'm really amazed by what you said about the Lebanese community that you've witnessed in Sydney and the way that you spoke about it so positively and the vibrancy and how they've held onto the culture. That may not be perceived in such a positive light. In Australia, it might have been seen as a failure to integrate into Australian culture. So I'm wondering if you have a message to the Lebanese community here who maybe don't feel so accepted.
I want to say something that there's a proverb that says one rotten apple can
spoil the bunch.
Help me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm sure there will be rotten people. I'm sure sometimes people hear the Arabic language would associate it to something else. Again, the news. I'm sure bad things happened, but you cannot forget how positive things happen. There are probably 0.01% of bad people that have a Middle Eastern origin, but there are 99.99% of people that are super duper success stories all around the world. Generals, presidents,
business, everything,
business, etc.
Artists, creatives,
so if you walk into someone's office or shop or walk on the street and feel unaccepted, you would allow people to take advantage. If you walk all around and shout out loud your roots and your heritage, people will respect you. I've been traveling the world, one camera in hand, doing it alone, shouting out loud in Arabic in all cities of the world, of which London Airport, this morning in Melbourne, and so on. And I do not care who looks at me. If you don't like it, just don't look. And accordingly, trying to push around that we are trendy, we are around, I'm enjoying it, I have a big smile.
You have a great optimistic energy, which is amazing.
Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. You have no idea. I'm bursting inside of excitement.
You're inviting me in 1 year from now.
100%.
And in 1 year, we're going to speak Arabic.
Okay.
You have a challenge to do.
That's a challenge.
You have a challenge to do.
Okay. Deal. Thank you so much. And 1 year's time, you're here again. And hopefully I won't be here. Maybe I'll be somewhere else and you can come to that station.
Definitely.
Or my own station maybe one day. We'll see what happens. This is Radio Skid Row 88.9. You've been listening to Good Smoke.